whilst AI is used for bad and then can be made to be good for charity, it can also be used to steal prizes from well-deserving people. Because this weekend we had Golden Demon, and one of the winners, a multi-Slayer Sword Golden Demon winner called Neil Hollis, won gold for single miniature in Warhammer 40k, an Exodite on a plinth with a nice background. Now, again, to get my biases out of the way, I met Neil once. I said, "Oh, hi Neil, big fan." And he said, "Hello, nice to meet you." We've got a very close relationship. It's a very, very beautiful piece. As you can see, it's got a beautiful plinth, a beautifully painted model, and the set is really, really nice. However, the backdrop isn't an image. It's allegedly used AI as the backdrop. As pointed out from Cake Latte stuff, is the background and setting is important as well. This is from the Golden Demon rules. The judges will be looking how well the entry fits into the Games Workshop's different worlds and universes. Strong narrative can go a long way towards grabbing the judge's attention. So, because there's a lot of people that are saying, well, it's just the background, it doesn't matter. You could just have printed one, etc. Like maybe they're referencing the background of the miniature, like the lore background of the miniature. But also they could be talking about like the background of the piece, such as a printed out AI piece. But the background is being used has been generated by AI, because Neil has obviously been catching some flack for this, and this was his response. Someone was posted saying, "AI is not art, that is all. A Golden Demon entry with a printed out AI generated backdrop won a demon, a gold one. I'm not going to share it or say who it was. We all know who it is. I've just showed it you. But I'm sure you can spot it. It's probably technically a grey area for the competition, but AI is theft and bad for art. I don't care who the person it is. I'll scream that from the top of the mountaintops. It has a bad implications for the future of what is okay at Golden Demon. This is especially problematic as the painter in question is phenomenal and should quite frankly know better." And Neil's response was asking Copilot, Microsoft's AI model, to write a response. And I don't know why he posted this. I don't know if this is supposed to be a dunk, because the AI had nothing to say. But I thought that was funnier than the actual post, because the AI had nothing to say to answer. If it had like a really cool dunk response, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, fair play, use AI again. But he got nothing. I don't know what this was supposed to prove. Except for it probably just like confirmed that Neil did use AI to generate the backdrop. I think it's a bit of a funny one, because like Golden Demon, you can just print stuff out and put it as a backdrop. But I think, why couldn't you just get a picture of a backdrop and print it? And like, why do you have to go to use AI? Now, I don't know what AI model is used. I don't know where the image is from, how it's been generated. It might have been generated ethically. It might have been done in Photoshop. It might have been done with Midjourney. We don't actually know. The thing is like, I think it's a real interesting one, because obviously like AI is cringe, but a lot of the time AI is just stolen art. So now what we're essentially doing is saying, well, realistically, if you're going to let people print backdrops, you're probably going to have to be okay to let people use AI backdrops, because it's essentially the same, unless you've taken the picture yourself. You know, like, at what point do we say, well, you can't use that because someone else has had a hand in this competition with you now, because they took a picture and you've printed it out, or they've used AI to generate that image, which it's not copyrightable, obviously, but it's probably been using stolen artwork to generate that image. I think it real opens an interesting conversation about it. If you're going to be using AI to enter competitions, I don't personally think that's probably right. I don't think this is like a huge, oh my god, he should have his Golden Demon removed. But I also think maybe there should be some sort of clarification if AI has been used, because even YouTube these days is saying that like, if you use any AI assets in your video, you do have to declare it. And I do think maybe if we're gonna allow AI generated images as part of a demon, maybe there should be some like clarification of like, this has had AI used with it, because ultimately that backdrop is really nice, but it's taken no skill. But it's been entered into a competition that is based on skill. Again, people on Twitter and stuff like that are like saying he should have his Golden Demon removed. He's such a... And I'm not saying that, but I also think maybe this should start a conversation of like how future entries should be judged. So like, yeah, like people are saying it's just the background. The miniature is stunning. The miniature is stunning, but the background is part of the competition. If it wasn't part of the competition, he shouldn't have put it on, you know? But you are allowed to download images from Google. Well, maybe that shouldn't be the case, you know? That's what I'm saying. If you download an image from Google, do you have the right to use that image? if you don't allow AI because it's not a technical skill to type a prompt jungle background, maybe you shouldn't allow pictures that haven't been used without permission either. I think I'm pretty sure I said that. If I skipped over it, I do apologize. If the background wasn't important or hadn't contributed, then why would the artist put it there? That's also true. Yeah. Ultimately, I think it should start a conversation. That's why I'm bringing it up. I don't think using AI without letting people know is fair, in my opinion. I think the whole point of Golden Demon is a technical and skillful craft, right? Of like, it's a painting competition. So using AI to generate a backdrop to put it on the background of it is probably not in the spirit of the competition, in my opinion. Should this be allowed in the future? It was obviously okay now, but should this person do something like that? Should this be allowed in the future? I don't know. I personally don't think it should be, but just don't allow print out backgrounds and just hand painted stuff, then there'll be no issue because he created the artwork by hand. I agree. If he generated AI artwork and then painted over it and traced over it, there'd be no question about it. But printing backgrounds is, I think, probably quite normal, but also, should we be printing backgrounds for a competition about painting? I don't know. It's a bit weird. But Hellstormwargaming just doesn't understand all the skill and effort put into typing up prompts into Midjourney. It's true. Personally, I don't think any computers should be used in the game of Golden Demon, because it's about skill and craft, you know, which we'll be talking about when we talk about the Slayer sword, because I was duped by it. If someone else painted the background and Neil stuck it on and then Neil won, would he be the rightful winner, you know? If someone else painted his backdrop and put it on, you know? And because in my opinion, that's essentially, I think it's like probably on the similar ground, because he's not made it himself. So if someone else had made this and the backdrop and he'd stuck it on the back and it was his miniature, he would be disqualified. Does this AI art piece that he's used as a backdrop count as someone else or no one because it was made by AI? Now, again, I don't know what prompt he's used or what model he's used to generate it. It could be Photoshop. Now, that becomes a little bit of a grey area, because then that has been generated using artwork that is been ethically sourced to generate those backgrounds. But if it is something like Midjourney that is using artwork that's been stolen online, there's a big lawsuit on at the minute that 16,000 different artists have been stolen for Midjourney to generate what it does. I think it's like it opens like a real can of worms, to be honest, because yes, taking a picture off Google and printing it and putting it on the backdrop is probably in the same vein, but I think this probably takes it maybe a step too far, where now if you just got a Midjourney account, you can print a better background than most other people, because they just steal artwork from other people. Like, not the person who made it, the model is stealing the artwork. But then, should that be allowed? I don't know. Personally, I think it's a bit icky, to be honest. It's a bit of an ick. Travarian, I've got little posse people, and there's probably more people in chat who have Golden Demons, have won Golden Demons, and like, I think people who are involved in the competition should probably have a conversation about it, and the people who are judging the competition should probably go, do we like this or not? Because ultimately, I can sit here on my soapbox and go, well, I think it's fucking stupid. But ultimately, I'm probably never gonna win a Golden Demon or even a commended entry or whatever. As an outsider looking in, it's a bit icky, you know? And I think Neil as a person is a very, very talented human. Clearly, I'm not discrediting anything about his talent, but he could probably done something without AI, in my opinion, and probably still won. Does AI count as your own work? No, because it can't be copyrighted. But does that mean it's copyright free? Maybe. But should that be allowed? Don't know, just asking the question. Personally, I think it's a bit strange. My personal opinion, don't use AI for Golden Demon. I think that's cringe. Painted backgrounds only would be fine, I suppose, but then do you suddenly need to be a 2D artist now to win Golden Demon? Well, currently, to be able to win Golden Demon, you need to be able to paint to a super high standard. You need to be able to do woodworking to craft the plinth. You need to have a Midjourney account so you can generate the background. And sometimes you also need to have a hand in ZBrush to win as well. Obviously, you've seen the Slayer sword winner as well, which is absolutely gorgeous. As I said, to win Golden Demon or Slayer sword at the minute, you need the talent of 1,000 painters rolled into one single hand, a Midjourney account, and ZBrush, it turns out. Because I think this piece is fantastic, but I didn't know this bit was 3D printed. Or allegedly, turns out, I initially thought this vampire was sculpted to be a mirror, because obviously it's a reflection piece. It's very, very cool. It's very epic. With this single pose miniature, it has been fully reversed underneath to get the mirrored image. but I've been informed that this has actually been 3D scanned and then 3D printed after flipping it in ZBrush, which I also think's an interesting one. Golden Demon is going from a painting talent show to who has the most Midjourney and ZBrush accounts. People are complaining about people that had sculpting skills 15 years ago doing their own sculpts, and now you don't even need to do your own sculpts because you can just scan it on your phone, put it into ZBrush and flip it, and then delete the hands out of it. The OG model was designed on 3D software, so it's staying true to the medium. Obviously, it's painted beautifully, and the concept of it is amazing. It's one of the best pieces I've ever seen. But I think there's a difference between sculpting something yourself, like little plastic people as just mentioned, to 3D scanning and flipping it in ZBrush. I also think that's probably a bit dodgy as well. So if it's sculpted from scratch, physical or digital, fair enough, but I think doing scans is starting to go into a grey area. Yeah, I think 3D scans is an interesting one. I don't know where GW fit with 3D scans, and I'm sure I'll probably find out when I post a video next week about it. If you're just going to 3D scan to do something, so obviously because like the way this concept works, this is obviously having a perfectly mirrored model is like beautiful, and it really makes the piece. But it was just scanned and flipped upside down. It wasn't like sculpted. So like, how much skill is that, you know? Because I'm just a bit like, it's an interesting one. Again, a very talented human, a very beautiful piece. I could never make anything as beautiful as this. But then it's like, half the main selling point is just ZBrush, like, you know, flip horizontal. 3D scans, sell them on cults, bad. Scan for gorgeous art, very good. Yeah, that's the thing. If we're going to call out people scanning models and selling them on Cults 3D, or even making them free on Cults 3D. But then we're just letting them win Golden Demon. Like, I think that's like a really interesting one. I think that's like a really interesting conversation. At least he mirrored it himself and didn't have AI to do it. I think this particularly creative piece that relied on leveraging technology, is it fair? Difficult to say. I think if Games Workshop are fine with it, then fine. But like, they also can't complain if someone 3D scans something and uses it elsewhere, in my opinion, you know? Again, it's just like an interesting one because initially I thought he'd like taken this model and sculpted it the other way around. And I was like, whoa, holy shit. And then I find out it was a scan in ZBrush, which is, in my opinion, much less impressive. Again, I'm just a guy on the internet talking about my opinion. That's all I do, okay? I might be wrong, you might disagree, but ultimately, I personally think, I use 3D printers all the time. 3D scanning is just fucking second nature to me. No, I've never discredited the paint job. The paint job is gorgeous, and I think the creativity behind it is amazing. You know, I'm just saying 3D scanning and flipping in ZBrush is like also allowed at Golden Demon. Does that open another can of worms? You know, I'm surprised that so much like 3D scanning and printing was allowed. Like 3D printing like a bit of a tree for a background. All right, maybe fair enough. That's probably okay. You know. But like scanning and flipping, or scanning and 3D printing, duplicating, I think that's like I was quite surprised, to be honest. So ultimately, if you took this to a tournament to use as that model, it wouldn't be allowed. But also in Golden Demon, it is allowed. So someone who's coming from a wargaming background and like a gaming background to looking at Games Workshop's official competition, I think it's just weird. I think that's just really strange. But I just think it's interesting. The main point I'm trying to make is I think it's interesting that GW, they have two different opinions depending what competition it is. You know, if it's a competition about gaming, don't use any 3D printing whatsoever. We will literally shoot you at the door. And if it's a Golden Demon, because this looks fucking sick and we'll sell loads of models, we don't care.